So long-term con, there's kind of some examples. It's very common, and it's not what you think. It's like, oh, well, I'll watch out for long-term con. There's nothing to watch out for. I've never talked about it, which is weird. I mean, I mentioned it here and there, but I've never done a video on the long-term con in Thailand. Shame on me. That's huge here. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is it's really common. The long-term con is something you will see. Something you're going to see all the time. A lot of guys, I see so many guys in some type of long-term con all the time. I see it. I wouldn't say every week, but it's really common. Be careful. Be real careful. How do I mean, so, and I'm going to say like, so what's a long-term con? I'm going to say like a gold digger, like a serious gold digger that's just milking the guy for money, doesn't really love him. I'm going to call that a long-term con. Let me gather my thoughts first. So I'll give you a couple examples. Let's start with that. So this one lady, I knew her I don't see her anymore, praise God. I knew her through another Thai friend, and I never liked this lady. I got the bad juju off of her immediately, and turns out those instincts tend to be right. Doubt really does mean don't here in Thailand. Overseas, you're the foreigner and all that. Doubt is don't all the time. So I met this lady a few times, group dinner. She'd be in the group. She was always rude, disrespectful, would not be respectful to me. I mean, really a rude, obnoxious, disrespectful, selfish person. And you can kind of take that little bracket of how I just described her, and that will apply to pretty much all these long-term con people. They're ugly people. A person that will take their life, you only get one life. They'll take years of their life and just base it on deceit, deception, ugliness, hurting another person for profit. Hey, turns out those aren't nice people. All of them have been modern women. These modern women are, for us, older, less physical, health problem prone, slowing down in the head. I am not as sharp as I used to be. I can see later I missed something that when I was 45, 50, I wouldn't have missed. You want good, honest people around you. And you want the traditional Thai people. They're great. It's sad that so many of us just don't pay any attention to that. We go for the lady with the boob job and the ton of makeup and the sexy tattoo. This was back to this. So this was an ugly lady. So what did she do? So she married a Scandinavian man who was just never spoke any Thai at all, which probably for them coming here, it's probably super hard. I could be sympathetic. But he had a child with this lady that's a Luk Krung, a half Luk is child and Krung is half. They call it, that's not disrespectful. That's what they call them here. He married her, registered the marriage. By the time I knew her, she really wasn't that attractive. But I guess when she was younger, I mean, she had some bone structure in her face. I could see where she probably was pretty when she was younger. I get what he was looking at. I mean, she had an obvious breast augmentation, very modern, ton of makeup in her appearance, the dyed hair, the modern Western sexy clothes, showing cleavage. I have never once seen a good traditional Thai woman show cleavage. Not ever once at one event, one time ever, anywhere. Do I make myself clear? If a woman showing cleavage in the first date, I probably wouldn't have a second person. For me, I wouldn't have a second date. You do what you want. So he married her, registered his marriage, got her citizenship in his home country, which I won't name. Like I always say, leave your Thai business in Thailand. And the overwhelming majority of your good traditional Thai women aren't that curious about the West. I mean, they're a little curious and maybe they want to come once and see snow or something, but they don't really want to live there. They need authentic, real Thai food every day. Your average Thai person probably can't go more than 2 days without authentic, real Thai food prepared by a Thai chef. So they're going to freak out of their country. And I found this out in Vietnam, and this is very common as it turns out. And they really just want to be amongst their people and live in their land. So when a woman is super wanting to be in your country and all that stuff, a lot of time, in my personal opinion, I mean, some decent percentage of the time, I couldn't tell you if it's 10% or 80%, but enough of that is motivated by just monetary greed, knowing that they can then divorce you after so many years of a marriage in your home country, under your home country's laws. And so, I just don't recommend. There's a million. I'm not saying it's always bad. There's a million exceptions, and there can be legitimate reasons why a woman just wants to explore the world and she just wants to live a Western life. But again, that's a modern woman. And if you're old and infirm, I'm going to go back to my default programming of I don't recommend, but you do what you want. Anyway, so this lady, and then she waited so many years. I don't know this country's divorce laws, obviously, but she apparently waited long enough, and then she cleaned him out. And they were married. They were married 17 years. In my opinion, she never, by the way she spoke, by the way she flirted with other men, by her appearance, the way she presented herself when he was in his home country and she was here. You wouldn't want your wife acting like she did with other men and in public when you were away in your country working and slaving away and supporting her financially over here. You would, I'm telling you. So, in my opinion, the whole 17-year marriage was a sham, and that was a long con. That's my take. So that's this one lady. By the time I knew her, and I knew her for 3 years, 2.5 years maybe, just an ugly person that was just. Her husband was absolutely money only to her. And and shockingly, she never cleaned him up. He looked terrible. He looked like Grizzly Adams, and his hair was like way up. And I mean, he was 150, 200 pounds overweight. And yeah, I mean, she was smoking hot when she was not fat before I knew her. So I'm going to say he partly did this to himself. I was never pals with the guy or anything. So this was a non-issue for me, but I was like, geez, dude, do you know what you're doing? And another example is still going on. There's a guy that I know, and I don't talk to him anymore, but I've met him in the past. I bumped into him more than a handful of times, more than several handfuls of times, and we talked a little bit, and he even told me one time he was kind of concerned about his marriage and this and that, and 0% odds it's anything legit. There was just a public function. I didn't go. Fawn didn't go either, but she was going near there, and she bumped into him and his wife that he also registered a marriage with, and she was surprised they were there because his wife has had a cultural husband, a Thai man, the whole time, and that event was hosted at that man's family. And he went. And sometimes Thais won't answer questions. Like I do my interviews, fact gathering, ask my questions, however you want. It's more like asking questions, not really. Though sometimes I do formal interviews, but I do it all in private because saving face, Thais just won't admit to certain things. I'll tell you, even when I'm in a class like with Husani, and she's the nicest, kindest, jidiest person you're ever going to meet in this life, there's times I'm kibitzing with her. And I'm careful, I'm respectful how I say things, but if I'm saying anything less than praising of a Thai person or of the Thai culture in all aspects, I can see kind of a wincing smile on her face, flash across her face where she's not really like loving. I mean, she knows I'm speaking the truth. She knows me well enough. If I were to say something untrue, she'd go, Rob, and I oh gosh, yeah, you're right, I apologize. But that's never happened because I'm careful with what I say. But my point is that any Thai person, no matter how good-hearted they are, will really just kind of want to be thinking, praising good thoughts only. And so I asked Fawn, did like all the people at that event, did they kind of laugh at that guy? Because like if I know, and I'm a foreigner, that means 100% of all the Thai people in attendance realize this guy is what we call here a buffalo. It's a super ugly term. I'll define that in a minute. That he's the buffalo, and she's not even really married to him in her mind, even though they have a registered legal marriage for her financial purposes. And Fawn wouldn't answer the question, which I guess gives me an answer. But it's also a point that, and I try not to be obnoxious or hurtful. I try not to probe too deep where I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings or cause discomfort to somebody or you know what I mean. But I will. And I mean, these are private conversations. I'll say, hey, what do you really think about that? So, yeah, this guy has been married to this woman, and they went to a registered marriage rather quickly. Warning sign number 2412. And that lady's flirted with me innumerable times, I can tell you. I knew a mutual acquaintance, another Western man that I know she was sleeping with. So, I mean, that was just a long-term con. I mean, nothing but. I know that woman a bit. I know her reputation a bit. I know I have mutual people that know, like me, that know her. And so I get people say stuff back to me, the advantage of speaking Thai. And that guy's paid for multiple financial scams. I mean, she's cleanly him. I mean, he's paid off so many scams. I think she's hit him. So let's go through some common scams. I'm not going to say anyone scammed to any one person. A big one is the foreclosure on the land scam. Oh, I have this land. Oh, it's a beautiful piece of land. Maybe this would be a good piece of land for you to build a house on in the future, but let's not talk about that scam. I mean, financial opportunity now. Let's just talk about that my land's being foreclosed on, and it's the land my dear sweet grandmother left me. Not that I scammed off another foreigner or anything. This is the land my dear sweet grandmother left me, and it's a really beautiful piece, and we could be happy together and all this stuff, but I need money by Tuesday. And so they'll do this land foreclosure. That's pretty simple. That's about the whole scam, as far as I could tell you. And another real common one is just the fake debt. And that can be, and to verify that debt is real is really hard. Now, if it's actual legitimate debt, the only way I would ever help anybody with any debt is if it was legal debt through an actual financial institution, through some kind of bank or lending institution. However they do it here, I'm not exactly sure. But I have seen those papers. And that's the only thing I would pay. However, there is this... They have these illegal loans here. In my home state, they call that loan sharking, which I won't say. But here they have these loans that are not legal, and they're common. They're real. A lot of them are, how do they say it in Thai? It's loy la sip baht, 10 baht to the 100, and that's every week. 10% per week. Can you imagine 10% per week? That's these village loans. Then they go out at 10% per week. You can see how these people become very rich. These are ugly people. In my opinion, they're victimizing the ties around them. It's a disgusting person. And my personal, I'm judgmental today, but I think that's really low. There's one guy, I see him all the time. A lot of this is through, and I hate to sound kind of weird, and in the States I couldn't say this, but I'm in Thailand. This is typically run by the Indian men. As I say that, I was about to say I've never seen a woman run a loan business, but actually I just met one. Not a nice person, by the way. Some of the stuff she said, I was like, just shocked. I can't repeat it here, but oh my gosh, some people. There is an ugly side here that you do want to be careful, and this whole long-term con is part of it. But at Indian men, they have a Thai term for that, which I'm not going to repeat because I'm not sure if it's respectful or not. It sure doesn't sound respectful, so I won't say it. So these loan guys do this, but apparently I can tell you, I know for a fact some Thai women do this, but that I really am not willing to talk about. My point is, with these illegal loans, there's no paperwork. I don't know how they enforce these loans. Obviously, they have some way of doing something unpleasant to make the person, to coerce them to pay. I don't know if they send muscle. I can tell you the Indian guy in this fancy little Mr. Rogers sweater on his little scooter riding around through the village. He doesn't look too intimidating, I'll tell you, but he probably knows people that do look more intimidating, I'm going to assume, but I've never seen. So that's the fake debt thing. So with so many of these illegitimate loans, there's no paperwork. You, as the long-term con victim, have no way of knowing if it's a real loan or not. I wouldn't pay it anyways, and a woman doing those kind of loans is a financial, what we call in Michigan, a financial disaster. She's poor her whole life, and she'll make you poor her whole life, which is exactly what's happened to every foreign guy here that I know that's married one of these ladies. They just suck them dry with these fake debts or real debts or whatever it is. But there's this there's a national sponsored official Thai lottery and that's legit and that's fine. I just don't like gambling, so I don't do that. And I just personally never seriously dated anybody that gambled beyond buying one official lottery ticket, twice a year or once a year or something for like $1 or whatever the hell they go for. Anything beyond that, I'm just averse to gambling. I just wouldn't support that. You make your own call on that. But this illegal gambling and these illegal lotteries, they're frequent. They're all the time because they can get more money out of people. I do hear of people getting paid off, a few thousand baht, $100 or so here or there. But I suspect the odds are probably not honest. I'm gonna go with the illegal loans are probably the illegal gambling's probably not an honest lottery. Maybe I'm wrong, Mr. Criminal, but I doubt I'm wrong. But the women will run up these, and here's the crazy part: 400, 800,000 baht debt with this gambling, and then they want you to pay it off. You have no way of knowing if it's a legit, because there's no paperwork on a dang illegal loan. So the guys I know have been hit with that. Nobody ever could find out if the loan really existed or not, or the gambling debt or loan to pay off the illegal gambling, that no one was ever able, there's no paperwork, and we don't speak the language to that level. They're all using slang terms, and it's this sleazy looking person down. I mean, you don't really know what they're doing, so you'd never know. And then all the people that are addicted to gambling do is go and get in debt again to another lottery. I mean, it's not like you've cured them because you paid their debt off. Those are two separate things. And any kind of urgent money needed quick thing, those are generally not real. Real actual working ties. Please only seriously date women that have a job, that work somewhere. If a woman has no job and she has money, she's a scammer. You should know that by now. But they're just quietly rich. And instead of dating, and if they were quietly rich, if that was actually true, and they're 40 years old or 35 years old, they'll be dating a 32-year-old Thai man that's handsome as all hell because they can afford one. They're not going to be dating an overweight, scruffy 55-year-old that can't speak their native language. Not to be mean, but do you know what I mean? That makes no sense. They wouldn't be dating me either. 62, what the hell would they be dating me for? They're going to get a handsome 40-year-old Thai man who speaks Thai and does Thai dancing and knows all the popular Thai music songs, right? They're not gonna. Okay, I moved the camera up to get my fat head out of the sun like that. I know that's distracting to viewers. I've had people tell me. So they'll have all this instant money stuff. An actual legitimate working lady doesn't do these crazy irrational loans and payments that come out of nowhere because they have to budget their life because they're working hard for that money. A person that these big sums come and go so quick, yeah, it's easy for them because they're not working for it. It's your money, and they know it's going to be your money. And then the other thing is it'll be these fake investments. And you're going to say, well, I would never fall. You know how many guys fall for this? So long-term con, another one is they'll get you into a relationship. And what it is, the long-term con is they get you into these relationships, tell you it's sincere, and it's not sincere at all. And then the woman's way above your pay grade. She's made herself way sexy and beautiful and all this. And you don't know, you don't understand the culture because you're new. I get that. We all fall for it at first. And then they get you into dropping these various scams. And if you're unfortunate enough, they drop you from one scam to the next, to the next, to the next. I've seen this. They'll keep going until you squeal. Or if they get bored with you, divorce you, take whatever they can, and they get another guy. But the other thing is these fake investments. And so they'll say, oh, their dear sweet cousin who's this go-getter who's not the real husband, absolutely this handsome Thai man who's not the real husband. He's her brother or her cousin. He's awesome. He needs money for his business. And then you'll be paying her husband, your culture. Even if you're registered, you say, well, Rob, I've registered my marriage. She can't have a husband. Yeah, in the village culture, which is a lot of these scammers come from, registering a marriage is not really a thing. That's fairly uncommon. Amongst the professional upper-class working Thais, like my friends here, yeah, they all register their marriages. The guys cannot screw around like crazy because their wives will whack them over the head with a stick or something. These are good people. But in the village culture, it can be a little different. And the Thai man has an enormous amount of control, is the right word, of his wife or wives. And because he may have an official wife, no registered marriage, but he'll call her his wife. He may have a mia noi, which means little wife, and then he may have a geek or two or three, which a geek is a secret lover. And all of these women may be motivated to give him money. And he ends up kind of running a bit of a pyramid scheme, and he's at the top, and then he may encourage some of these ladies to then go date a foreign guy who's rich and dumb and new to the culture or whatever, and then he'd probably be less kind in his words, and then get that money to him. I'm always saying it's probably over half of all the women that do the scamming have a male boss behind them. I think this is kind of organically how it can start a lot of the time. But you get these fake investment opportunities. This young go-getter, super great, but gee, he only needs this one bit of capital to invest to get a better location or a second hot dog stand or a machine for his business or whatever, a little excavator. He can start digging more holes quicker or something. And they probably never buy the equipment at all, or you may end up supporting their, if you stay in it long enough, you'll see the excavator, you go, wow, I know I'm not being scammed because she said she needed an excavator. There it is. He's working it all the time. Yeah, that's her husband. Or it is just her brother, but that they're unfairly putting all this burden on you financially. Like, again, my Thai friends here, and I have some people close to me and some people closely related to Fawn, I'll even say, and, they either won't take my money, like if I want to buy him a coffee or buy him something, and then one did borrow money from me, which I told Fawn, you understand what this means if you don't pay me back? She goes, yeah, I know. But I did say yes to the loan because I really felt good about the people. I've known that particular household, everyone in that household for years, and I know them to be good people, but this was going to be a test, right? And they borrowed money for 2 weeks. They paid me back after 1 week and insisted on buying me dinner, and I really didn't want to accept their money for the dinner because that's like $40 for this big dinner out, and I mean, I know that that's a lot of money for them, but they insisted, so they were very happy. So I mentioned this once before on my channel, I did actually loan somebody money here and I got paid back, which is better than I've had in the States. I've loaned money to my some siblings and stuff in the past. I've never gotten paid back, ever. The long-term con, it's real common, and all of this, 90% or all of it pretty much that I can think of, will happen in broad daylight right under your nose. It's not going to be hidden and you're looking and it's all going to be the guy that you trusted that you thought was your friend. It's the guy having sex with your wife that you've been paying. That's a real example. And so how do these guys get into this? You need to understand the culture a little bit. And if a woman if something's too good to be true is the moral of the story, I guess. If you're just haven't cleaned and I get that, you're 65, 67, 58, whatever the heck it is, and you've been really overweight your whole life and you struggle and you just can't get it down. I get that. That's fine. And maybe you like the 70s haircut and you think it's unmanly to shave every morning and clean yourself up. But some guys, like in Detroit, that's kind of unmanly to do. So fine, you're entitled to your opinion. And you don't like any of the Thai style of attire, so you're going to wear, kind of grubby old, retired, grumpy old guy stuff every day. And that's your right, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that none of those things really earn you social credit with a really attractive 35 or 40 or 45-year-old woman. You always should be asking yourself, this woman is really attractive. She's really young and pretty. Gee whiz. Why is she with me and not with a handsome Thai man? Again, over 30, they're not eligible to date eligible Thai bachelors, but man, there's always somebody willing to date a pretty lady. Why didn't you go with a younger or more kept up if you're like an expat bar guy, that's fine too. And at the bar where you go all the time, there's 4 other guys that are a lot slimmer than you, that look better, and they wear a nice shirt every day, and they're single. How come she didn't flirt with any of them? She only flirted with you. But you're new here and you don't know all these customs and things, and it's victim selection, dude. She's not with you because she thinks that, wow, I was dreaming of a guy with nose hair. She was dreaming of a guy that would be easy pickings. And that's you. That's the long-term con, how it works. It's guys that get themselves in over their head with the wrong lady, And it's always the modern ladies. I'm not now. There's that's that statistics thing. There's a word for it. I don't know, but I'm not saying all modern ladies are bad, but I am saying all the bad ladies pretty much are modern. I mean, a village woman scammer that doesn't adopt any of the modern, the semi culture. I've never seen that. I've never seen. I'm sure it exists, but I've never seen. It's got to be, your odds are 10 to 1 better at least if you just stay with the traditional village-looking people, which is generally the more tan skin, Thai clothing, not modern, expensive metropolitan New York Western clothing. For God's sakes, not like a label handbag. She got a different one for every day of the week. I mean, just tell me she has that or the brand new iPhone and doesn't have a job. I'll tell you she's a scammer flat out. On some level of some kind, she's some kind of not good person that has all kinds of money and doesn't work for it. She's living off the backs of other people somehow. Yeah, I mean, or like when I met Fawn, I mean, she put a lot of time into our relationship early on, because I was important to her. Having a relationship was important to her, and it's harder for a woman as they get around 40 and they have kids and all that, as I've kind of really fully delineated on the channel already. But she was busy. That was hard for her to make that effort because she was busy because she works. And then she takes care of her parents. She's a good mom to her boys. And then she takes great care of me. But again, Fawn has that traditional cultural appearance. She doesn't look like, go look at videos of Soy 6, which is SOI, and then the number 6, Padia. And that's like probably the most, I've never actually gone down it, but I've seen videos of it. Fawn says next time we're there, she's got to walk me down there because I just want to see it once. That is your modern bar girl appearance. And that's what a lot of Western guys go for. Hence, that's why they look like that. They know that's what a lot of guys go for. And that's great. All the other baggage with that aside, which would take me 10 videos to unpack, I'm just saying that's definitely not the girl you take home to mama, right? So definitely don't get all excited and marry that lady, register your marriage and bring her to your home country and wait for her to divorce you. I mean, to have a long-lasting, loving relationship with you. And I did know another lady did the same thing. She was waiting literally for the 7 years to come up. She said that in America, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's her belief was that after 7 years of her living in America, she could divorce her American husband and then take him for half, and she was going to come back to Thailand. But she was bleeding him pretty good. She told me how much money she was getting from him. It was thousands US per month. That's a lot of money. He was and she wasn't that attractive, and she was older. She was smart. I mean, in an evil way. That was crazy. That poor guy. I mean, I felt really bad for him. Anyways, so long-term con, there's kind of some examples. It's very common, and it's not what you think. It's like, oh, well, I'll watch out for the long-term con. There's nothing to watch out for. All you know is you're in with this pretty nice lady that you know nothing about that has these financial emergencies from time to time, and you think you're her hero and helping her. And turns out you were in a long-term con the whole time. And they can wait too. Some of these ladies, I should tell you, they can wait a long time. Some of these ladies I've seen, the one lady waited 17 years. I mean, she was just rude to the guy and just bled him monthly for a lot of, he underwrote her entire ridiculous, lavish lifestyle. I met her several times at expensive restaurants where she was ordering like crazy because she didn't care because he was paying. Then she waited 17 years and to spring the whole trap on him. I don't know why her boy. She wanted her boy to be an adult. That's why she waited so long. I never thought about it until just now. I think that other shoe just dropped. So that's that's why it's so hideous. You don't know. It's not like you don't get a sign saying now entering long-term con. All you know is you've been in this relationship, and then these things start happening, and it can be years after you've been with her that now the whole time they'll be bleeding you because they want money. But the big, to get you really to take big chunks, $1 million baht or something from you, that may not happen that could not happen for 10 or 15 years. So anyways, be careful. Long-term con. Pushing forward, it's a beautiful Friday. Fawn's got an all-day work excursion. A bunch of people that I know. It's should be fine for her activity, for her students and stuff. Her students are all really polite. I am going to take the motorcycle to the city, meeting a friend of mine, a good, really nice Thai man, for some coffee and talk about a few good things. And then I'm going to go over to the gym and then do a long, slow Friday lunch somewhere, maybe OND. If I do, I'll take a couple pics. Last 3 days, a lot of back pain, hip pain, not feeling so hot. Just when your back hurts, it kind of bunches up, all your nerves flow through that, so you just sort of feel like crap. Did a lot of ibuprofen and Tylenol the last few days. Did some physical therapy and woke up limping around the house. God. But I'm better. I'm feeling better. So I'm going to do a real slow, careful workout today. See, I got my hearing protection in. I do have enough hearing damage. It is difficult to hear the tones and speak the tones in Thai. Some of the time of the tones I've memorized how my mouth goes to make the sound, but I can only hear 3/4 of what I'm saying. The tones are so subtle. It's so challenging with some of the words, but it is what it is. But I can speak to them, and that's really about all I cared about. So there's the beauty. There's the starship there. So off we go. Bit of sun on me. I don't mind. I'm behind my new solar glass. Loving it. You gotta have the solar glass here. Super quick update. The house is now finally cooler on the inside than out as I originally designed it. My vent is put in. I got a bonus video somewhere in one of these videos I've put in. Maybe I'll put it on this one. I don't think I've used it yet, actually. The vent's in, so it's exhausting the heat as it rises to the extremely tall ceilings that I put in. And then with the solar glass, it took the solar load off the house, pretty much took it off. I mean, now I step inside, it's consistently 510 Fahrenheit cooler inside than out. Typically, a Thai house is 15, 20 degrees hotter inside than out, which really can be quite uncomfortable in Thailand, let me tell you. And thank you to my friend Johnny for the shirt. Love this shirt, as you could probably tell. And ideally fit it to perfection. And it's not, I had to leave it loose and comfy. I didn't want it fitted tight. I wanted it just, because I'll wear this over a t-shirt a lot as like an overshirt when I go to the mall. It's very cold. I better speak in the way. It's very cold in a lot of the shopping places in Thailand. So anyways, all right, enough about shopping. So this is Rob. Video's over. I'm closing my gate. But if you've been liking or subscribing and praise God if you've been a member of the channel, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that watches. You have a great day.